Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the glass case of emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Ah, yes, indeedy. Yes, that is what was just said is true. I am not here to talk about your feelings. If you want to talk about your feelings, you are in the wrong place. But welcome to everyone on planet Earth who happens to be listening to Student of the Gun right now. I don't care where you are. If you can speak the English language and you're listening to me, congratulations on your excellent decision-making skills. And congratulations if you're one of our new iHeartRadio listeners. Warning, warning, warning. You're not going to get this show the first time out. Don't expect to get it 100% the first time out. What I want you to do is take a deep breath. You know the kind of deep breath that you take when your doctor's listening to your lungs? They put the stethoscope on the right side, the left side, front, right, back, left, back, right. And they say, breathe in deeply and exhale through your mouth. That kind of breathing. That's the kind of deep breathing I want you to do. When you take a deep breath, I want you to close your mouth, open both of your ears, and
if you want them to
louder.
exhale through their mouth, they can't close their mouth.
Whatever, shut up. Take a deep breath.
Exhale, and then close your mouth.
Then close your mouth. Open your ears.
Step-by-step processes.
And listen louder. Stand by. Stand by. Because what you think you're going to hear is not what you're going to hear. You're not going to hear what I say is not said anywhere else because it's said by me, and I have a unique perspective on life because I have been there and I have done that and I've gotten the T-shirt. And I'm here now after 30 years of doing that to sit behind the black carbon steel microphone or in front of, depending on your point of view. Do I get behind the microphone or get in front of it? I don't know. You tell me.
This is way too philosophical.
It's messing with your brain, isn't it? I know. All right. It is dirt. Well, it's T minus 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, to take advantage of the fontanasports.com/SOTG ad. If you want to save
you actually have exactly 1 week today.
According to the calendar, if you listen to this the day that it's released, you have 1 week. And what should they do, Jared, while I drink water?
You should go to Fontana Sports, FONTANA sports.com/SOTG. Now, if you end up on the site and you get to the checkout and the code is not actually there, you can just use the code. I mean, the discount is not there. You can use the code SOTG10, and that will apply the discount for you.
There you go. You're going to
go pick up some packaged food. You're going to need it.
10% off everything store-wide, site-wide, what have you. You're welcome. We did it because we like you. We did. We like to save you money.
Do you know where I went when I was in Florida? Because we decided to go grocery shopping instead of just
flow right. Yeah, you had a.
So yeah, we went to this place called Whole Paycheck. Actually, it's called Whole Foods, but you might as well just spend your whole paycheck there.
You're a jerk.
Yeah.
Whole Paycheck. You went to Whole Paycheck. You took Alex there. And,
the food's expensive there. It's good, but I think that you could probably go to like a farmer's market.
Winn-Dixie.
Yeah. Well, Winn-Dixie. A farmer's market actually would have the same quality food for a lot less. So, yeah.
Did I tell you we paid $1.25 for 18 eggs?
What?
In Wyoming.
Really?
Yeah. You were almost like, what?
Yeah.
Some things were more expensive and some things were less expensive. So, you remember when I made chicken soup? There, when you and Charles and I were at the condo there. And,
that was fun.
Yeah. You should not use the entire bag of noodles. You should use half of the bag of noodles.
Or you get a bigger crock pot. They expand when you cook them.
What are you wearing right now, Paul? Well, thanks for asking. I appreciate it. I'm wearing the TP9 Essay, and I'm wearing my unique, very, very... Actually, all four of our friends that I'm going to talk about are represented in my TP9 Essay that's currently attached to my body.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Century gun. It is a special Duracoat camouflage on it, making it my own.
Century? Like the movie producers?
No, Century Arms.
Oh, Century Arms. Okay.
Duracoat firearms finish. It is lubricated because I cleaned it and I lubricated it with Frog Lube. And it's riding in my crossbreed holster. So there you go. Bingo. All that is on my body right now.
So I was trying to escape Florida to get back home. Mm-hmm. And you know how Florida has all these toll roads all over the place?
Yeah. Fornicate them.
Yeah, so I was leaving. And I stopped and the toll was like $4. And so I paid the guy and he handed me my change back. And I looked at him and I said, "This doesn't come with a bottle of Astroglide?" And he said, I'm sorry, sir. What'd you say? And he didn't understand. I don't think he knew what Astroglide was because his face was just blank. But yeah. And Alex was over there like hitting my shoulder. She's like, "Stop it.
Stop it." See, you're not going to kiss me first?
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to leave your state. So if I don't give you the $4, do I have to stay? Mm-hmm. Are you going to come to my state? No, you have to. It's extortion. You know my feelings on toll roads. You know where you find toll roads? You find them in the presence of slaves. Oh, hey, shut up. There's toll roads around. Yeah, exactly. The city I live in has toll roads, and they're great. Okay, slave. What day is today? Well, it's Wednesday's episode of Student of the Gun Radio. And because of that, well, we're going to have a SWAT Fuel fitness talk just for you cats and kittens out there in the listening audience. And we've got a super special theme for you. Well, it's the normal theme, but if you've never heard it before, it's special to you.
Yeah, it should be special anyway. I was just going to let them know that I don't know why we haven't been doing this from the beginning, but we're going to brand the fitness talk Fighting Fitness because that's what the TV show, we had the segment on the TV show called Fighting Fitness. So now we're going to have a segment on the radio called Fighting Fitness.
Fighting Fitness brought to you by SWAT Fuel.
Physically fit, woman, nice, sweet, fantastic. Big your body out in the big Titanic, woman, nice, sweet, energetic. Big your body out in the big Titanic, woman, nice, sweet, fantastic. Big your body out in the big Titanic, woman, nice, sweet, fantastic. Big your body out in the big Titanic. Woo! I like to move it. I like to.
Today's topic is going to be relatively short and sweet. I've had a problem with this. And it's hard to make yourself do it at first, but once you start making yourself do it, then it's easy. It's kind of like anything, creating a habit. But I know a lot of you have this issue too, and I want to address it. So when you're going about your daily life, and especially when you're in regards to fitness, in regards to going to the gym, instead of saying that you're going to do something, stop at that moment in time and just do it. So next time you think or say out loud, "I need to do this action," then stop yourself and immediately do that thing instead of saying or thinking, "I need to do this."
Is that like people who say, "Yeah, I really need to quit smoking," and then 3 minutes later light a cigarette?
Yeah. That is, I think that's probably the best example because every single smoker that I've ever known does that. I really need to quit, and then they.
I know I need to quit this, and like it's almost as if their hands are moving independently of their minds.
Yeah,
they're pulling it out and lighting it. I'm like, you didn't even think about that. You're like, how can you say you don't like cigarettes when you're a cigar smoker? I don't know. That's like saying, do you like to drink water? Yes, I like to drink water. Well, then drink from that puddle over there. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. That's okay. That's for a different topic.
Yeah. Next time, just change your verbiage. Instead of saying, "I need to do this," say, "I am going to do this," and then do it.
Exactly.
That little change actually has a huge effect on your mind.
It's micro actions,
Yeah.
Microtransactions,
Microtransactions.
micro commitments.
Micro commitments.
That's what they are.
I don't know which one it is.
I'd say it's a micro commitment.
Now I'm confused.
It's not a microtransaction. That's what you do when you buy eggs for your Pokemon.
Eggs. They have eggs.
Zach. Hey, listen up. If you guys, Zach hit me to this. We were in the car, and I didn't know this, but see, all I know about Pokemon Go is what Zach tells me, right? He is my Pokemon Go go-to expert. He's the subject matter expert. He's the SME. So anyway, apparently what you have is you catch these things, right? You catch them and you have them, but there's also eggs, right? You have the eggs, and you have to incubate these eggs by walking. And apparently the app is smart enough to know whether if you're in a car.
Yeah,
like so you can't do it by a car because you actually have to go slow. Like you have to the phone needs to move slowly, like if you were walking, not if you're in a car or an airplane or a truck or whatever. So people are all the time trying to figure out a way around like the actual walking and just like make things. So Zach, now listen. Zach told me, he goes, if you take your phone, you know how your microwave has a tray that spins, it rotates?
Yeah.
You guys, I mean, unless you have a really super cheap one. But if you have like a regular household microwave, it has the tray. You set your phone on there and you program it for just 3 minutes, and the phone will go around on the tray. It'll trick the phone. It'll trick the Pokemon app into thinking that your phone is walking, and it'll hatch your eggs. So I'm just saying that's what Zach told me, and I thought, what the heck? I'm sure some of you out there in the audience are playing Pokemon Go. So
that's actually a pretty good trick. I never thought about.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you get in a car, but that's too fast.
It's too fast. You got to go slow, because the rotator plate, in the microwave goes relatively slow. So yeah. So there you go. You try that sometime and let us know how it works, or let Zach know, because it's. I'm sure he got it off of one of his like podcasts or something.
Yeah.
I'm nothing if I'm not here to help. Let me go ahead and tell you something. And this actually, Jared, this blends right in with your do something small and it'll make a difference.
That's not what she said.
Well, I know, but seriously, working out. You say, well, what good's it going to do me to work out for 15 minutes? If I can't dedicate an entire afternoon or an entire morning or entire Saturday to exercising, I might as well not even try.
If you're in the Liberty Mastermind, I just want to mention this real quick. I posted a video from when I was on vacation in July. I was headed up to Salt Lake City to meet Alex, and I stopped. And the reason that I worked out was because I was really tired and I needed to get my blood flowing. But that's when I realized, I was like, hey, this kettlebell can go anywhere with you, and it only takes 2 minutes and 45 seconds, maybe 3 to 5 minutes if you've never done kettlebells before.
Yeah, but you're a wimp and you use a 12-pound one.
Yeah, 12 kilograms. But
is there a difference between kilograms and pounds?
Nah, there's the same thing.
So you actually spent less than 15 minutes.
Yep.
But
literally 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
But was it worthwhile?
But did you die? Yes, it was worthwhile.
Well, and what Jared's saying here is, look, if you know you need to do something, do it. And even if you're trying to build a habit or you're trying to build a routine, it's easy to say, well, I don't have if I'm not going to do a big workout, I'm not going to change my clothes, I'm not going to go drive to the gym. That's why people talk themselves out of it. They're like, well, I got to do this. I'm not even going to do it. It's not even worth my time. And when it comes to saving the republic, to saving the nation, to saving society from the insanity that is progressive socialism, the slavery that is progressive socialism, all around you, there's progressive socialism. Progressive socialism rears its head in many ugly, nasty ways. Essentially, they want you to not think. If you read 1984, and if you read 1984, one of the strongest messages that you'll get is the desire for the state to remove all independent and free thought from the subjects, from the people. The people will no longer have the ability to make choices, to consider a situation and come up with a choice, to think, to exercise independent, rational thought. Think about it. What is zero tolerance anything? What is it? First of all, it's tyranny. It's fascism. It's zero tolerance is fascism. I dare you to argue with me that it is not. I triple dog dare you. When you punish the victim for being involved, that is fascism. Your children today are being taught in their schools. If your school has a, quote, we have a zero tolerance policy on blankety blank blank blankety blank, whatever it happens to be. We have a zero tolerance policy on drugs. And you're like, oh, that's so wonderful. Oh, that's so wonderful. I want to cry. It's so wonderful. And then your 15-year-old is suspended from school because they had aspirin or Tylenol. Or you give your 15-year-old a Benadryl because they have seasonal allergies. And they get caught with it. And they say, we have a zero-tolerance drug policy and your kid's suspended. And you say, that would never happen. Go fornicate yourself. That happens all the time. Why does it happen? Because we remove the ability to think. We remove the responsibility to think, to analyze a situation and come up with the correct answer. And I'm going to tell you something. Something happened this weekend. I didn't talk about it previous couple days, but I'll talk about it now because it kind of fits in with this. Doing something small makes a difference. Hey, Jared, look at me. Look at me through the glass case. You see this face?
Yeah. Hollywood, I see.
Is there any chance that this face is not over 21 years old?
No.
Is there any chance that this face is not over 18 years old?
I'm going to go with no.
All right, you guys have seen me. You know what I look like. If you don't, well, you're behind the power curve. But
just Google Paul Martin.
Yeah. There is no chance, there is no possible way on planet Earth that this face could not have been aged more than 21 years. Okay? So I go into a store that I've frequented many, many, many times, a store where they know me, they know my face. And I decide that this was after I had done lawn work, yard work, right? Did a long day's worth of hedge trimming and grass mowing and cutting limbs off of trees and all that nonsense. I'm like, I'm going to reward myself. I'm going to buy a 6-pack of beer. Didn't have any in the house. I'm like, what the heck, I'll do it. So I take it and I walk up to the counter. And the girl on the other side, stick with me here, says, I need to see your ID. And I said, really? Is there any chance that this face is not 21 years old? It doesn't matter. That's policy. And I said, you know what? Fornicate this. Keep your beer. I'm not showing you my ID. Because you're an idiot. You're a slave. And then the idiot lady behind her comes up and says, that's our policy. And she could get in trouble if she doesn't check your ID. Then you're a slave too. And I know that you guys out there in the audience, you reasonable people out there in the audience, like, you're just a jerk. You need to go along. You need to. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the purpose of checking IDs for tobacco and alcohol sales? What is the purpose?
Because we've done that the whole time, so why would we change it?
No, but what's the purpose? I mean, why do we do it? To determine what? That the person is over that age.
If you're a criminal? No, that's not it. Okay, so they're just trying to figure out how old you are.
No, you're overthinking it. It's not a trick question. The purpose is to determine that the person is over. That is the entire purpose of the exercise. Is the purpose of the exercise to force the customer to dig their ID out of their wallet or purse? Is that the purpose of the exercise? Is the purpose of the exercise for me to take a plastic card with my photograph on it and hold it out in front of your face? Is that the purpose of the exercise? Well, no. The purpose of the exercise is so that I know. So you're telling me that as a human being that that I'm assuming fully speaks English, that you were able to learn how to use the cash register. You have at least that much skill in your life, right? You can punch the buttons and give me back the change that the thing tells you to give me, because God knows clerks can't make change in their head today, because that's like nuclear physics.
Was it the green or the blue store?
It was the yellow one.
Oh, okay.
So with all this skill you have, and if you're a clerk at a store and you're like, yeah, shut up, Paul. Yeah, that's a policy. Shut your mouth and listen to me like I told you at the beginning of the show. Why? What is the purpose of the exercise? To determine the age or to make sure that the person is over blah, 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 right? There is no possible way that a rational, thinking human being with the power of speech could look at my face and say, I don't know, that guy might be 20. Well, what if you like have a Hollywood makeup artist? No pun intended, butt face. What if you have like a really good, what if somebody who's only 19 goes to all the trouble and they gray their hair and they grow a beard and they make it, kind of salt and pepper gray? And what if they go through all that? If somebody invests the time and effort to alter their appearance to the point where it fools people that they see on the street, you know what I say? Give that guy a beer, because he deserves it. He earned it. Is beer poison, Jared? If somebody who's 20 years old consumes beer, do they die?
You'd think so.
Okay. And my point is this. In case you haven't figured it out, if you're a little slow on the uptake, what is it doesn't matter, policy? Every person has to show. Your grandmother, your grandfather. What is the point of doing that? It is to eliminate the ability or the practice of independent thought. That is what it is. Shut up. Don't tell me it's not. That's policy. Shut up. Saying the words, it's policy, does not reinforce your argument. That doesn't reinforce your argument, kids. Well, Paul, you don't understand. These clerks, they're not in the position to make a decision. They can't look at someone and decide, hey, that guy looks old, or maybe I should ask him for ID. They don't have the ability to make that kind of decision. Really? Because your sign there, when I walked in, says, we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. Well, Jared, if a sign says, we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone, who is it that refuses the service? Is it corporate in Boise, Idaho, or Provo, Utah, that is the one who's refusing the service? Or is it the clerk? Is it the store employee that's standing right there that has the right to refuse service? So you tell me, Mr. Policy Writer, that your clerks have the ability and the intelligence and the authority to refuse service to anyone. Yes, that's our policy. Our policy states that our clerks have the right to refuse service to anyone. But they're not intelligent enough to know whether the guy standing in front of them is in his late 40s and not to F with him and ask him for a stupid ID. Can't have it both ways, turds. And so the end of my story is this. When it comes to alcohol or tobacco, I will no longer be showing my ID to anyone, and they can go fornicate themselves. That's it.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a free training video series called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. We want you to have access to this life-saving information. Get instant access now at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of those questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
And as a quick follow-up on that, Zachary, the shipping ogre, he needs, like, I don't know, I need to buy him a cookie or something because he had to be present during my off-going.
Well, I mean, from an employee standpoint, I would think as an employee that my employer didn't think I was smart enough to make the but make the decision on whether that person is old enough or not. It's like, oh, it's policy. Well, you don't trust me? You can trust me to run this register and take
They trust
all this
you with
money,
thousands of dollars.
but you can't trust me to make a decision. It's like,
Well, here's the deal, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, you're like, what's the big deal? Just show them your ID. The big deal is this. I know I'm still going off on this point. It's this fostering of a slavish, non-thinking mentality. Don't think. The slaves, the proles, if you read 1984, they're not allowed to think. We have to eliminate. When a police officer, we've seen this before, hey, you guys know that cops don't have to arrest, right? They can make the decision to not make an arrest or to make an arrest, depending on the situation. When you remember when the police officer arrested the irate dad for exceeding the 2-minute rule at the PTA meeting? Remember that, Jared? I do.
yeah, that was policy.
Yeah. So it's policy. Let me tell you what. It's time to start thinking, America. It's time to reject this nonsense a little bit at a time. All right. It's not about guns. It's about friggin' allegiance.
Well, hold on. I just want to tell everybody that the human being, they don't listen to people they don't know or care about unless you deliver your message in a way that makes them think that they're bettering themselves or it affects them, because humans are selfish. So when you're doing this ID thing, simply say to the clerk or the person that's saying this retarded crap that it seems funny to something along the lines of it seems funny to you, or it doesn't seem very nice of their employer to assume that they don't have the decision-making skills to judge your age.
So your employer thinks you're an idiot.
Yeah, basically.
How does it feel to work for somebody who thinks that you're an idiot?
They'll listen a little bit better that way. They won't think you're as much of a jerk.
I'm sorry that your employer thinks you're an idiot. All right. It's not about guns. It's about allegiance. All right. And here's what I'm not going to do with this show. I'm not going to pimp somebody else's page. But for those of you that know, and I know many of you do, many of you out there in the student and listening audience encountered a story last week that was promoted by a firearms-related blog. It's a carpetbagger blog. It's a Johnny-come-lately carpetbagger. How can I make money off of the firearms craze? And there's a lot of that going on. I was a gun guy before being a gun guy was cool. But the story, the titillating story, was that a person who calls themselves an NRA certified instructor, so is my grandma, and is a gun writer for he's a gun writer for Harris Publications, which that really doesn't get you much anymore. Doesn't even get you a cup of coffee because they're out of business. But regardless, made the following statements about how no longer feels welcome in the Republican Party. And blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And apparently this blog went to this guy's Facebook page and cited a whole bunch of pro-Hillary Clinton anti-Republican posts that this person had put up. And so they're like, you're a traitor, you're this, you're that. You're like, here's the deal, folks. We've talked about this ad nauseum. And But it reinforces my previous point, the point that I made, quite frankly, years ago, that owning a gun, liking guns, playing with guns, hobbying with guns, being a gun collector, whatever, all these things that are firearms related, those do not make you a de facto patriot. They do not make you de facto conservative Republican, and when I say Republican, I mean small r, like in support of the republic that is the United States of America, the representative republic. Being a gun owner doesn't give you automatic entry into the, I guess you'd say, Patriot Club. I hear this all the time. You need to be careful here that you're not alienating certain gun owners because, there are Democrat gun owners and there are this. I don't give one fat rat's rectum, okay? It matters not to me. And I wrote an entire article years ago about, you know what? Dianne Feinstein claimed ownership of a firearm. Andrew Cuomo has been photographed walking through the field holding a over-under shotgun wearing a freaking pheasant hunting vest that still had creases because they just took it out of the package and handed it to him to put on. Left-wing progressive socialists all the time claim to be sportsmen. They're not on my team. Joe Biden, with his ridiculously reckless shotgun advice. Just get a double barrel, point it at the door, and fire 2 blasts. Pow! Joe Biden is a gun owner. Am I supposed to take his advice? Am I supposed to get on his team because he owns a gun? The individual in question here, who is who has been paid to write gun reviews, and that person comes out and they claim that they don't feel welcome in the Republican Party, and therefore they're not going to support blah, blah, blah. And people are like, oh, they're aghast. They're like, how can this be? I thought everyone who owned a gun was a traditional conservative. No, they're not. And this is why when people tell me, when they're like, well, I'm a gun owner and you should listen to my opinion. Congratulations, you scraped together some money and purchased a firearm. Woohoo! Whoopity-doo! Pardon me if I'm not impressed. It's not about ownership of an object, ladies and gentlemen. Principle is not based on ownership of an object. You don't buy an object and all of a sudden are imbued with certain characteristics. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry I even have to bring this up. Quite frankly, I don't care. I mean, this person outed themselves as not being on the page of liberty. When you say things like, well, maybe, if blah, 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 if that's the case, then I guess I'm a Democrat. Or if that's the case, then blah, blah, blah. Folks, great. Do it. You're an American. You can be as stupid as you want. It's your right as an American to make stupid choices and to say stupid things. But don't act surprised when someone who's a gun owner or a gun enthusiast or a gun whatever throws their hat in with the progressive socialists. Because guns are not the great denominator of allegiance. And no, I don't alter my show, my broadcast, my writing. I don't alter anything I say or do in order to court Democrat gun owners. Because I don't care about Democrat gun owners. They're not on my team. They support the enemy. So you're a Democrat. You're Jared, am I losing my mind over here?
No, you're not losing your mind over there. I don't really have anything else to say other than what you've already said. This is just ridiculous.
These fools who tell me I'm in a labor union and I'm a proud Second Amendment defender. No, you're not. Shut up. If you tell me that you vote Democrat and you're a proud Second Amendment defender, you are a liar. You are intellectually dishonest. Shut your stupid mouth for 5 seconds. How can you say that? And how dare you? Go fornicate yourself. It's time not to be nice. There's time. What did Dalton say? Mm-hmm. It's time to be nice. There's time not to be nice. Well, how will we know when that time is? You won't. I will tell you. And here's what I'm telling you. It's time not to be nice. You cannot, by virtue of your labor union organization and affiliation, and go ahead and tell me that your labor union supports conservative Republican candidates and conservative Republican, representative Republican constitutional candidates. Tell me that. Look me in the face and tell me that the union dues for the AFL-CIO and the UAW and you name it, the UMWAs, tell me that money is not a slush fund for Democrats and socialists. Go ahead. Look me in the eye and say that. You can't, because it's not true. I'm not even going to get into the fact that labor unions labor unions are a formation of the Bolshevik Revolution and communism. I love it how these guys wave flags. I'm a proud union supporter. Look at me waving the American flag. Really? You know nothing about history? Are you that much of a tool? You cannot give your support, money, and votes to progressive socialist Democrats and then look at me and say, I'm a proud Second Amendment defender. Tell me one part of the Democrat platform that supports the Bill of Rights and the U.S. Constitution. Okay, go ahead, I'll wait. Oh, you can't, because they don't. Because to the Democrat Party, the Progressive Socialist Democrat Party, the U.S. Constitution is an impediment. It's an obstacle. It's something that needs to be gotten around. Do not tell me that you're a proud American patriot gun owner and you vote Democrat. Go fornicate yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, ownership of an object does not denote allegiance. It's about allegiance to principle, not the guns and toys that you own. End of sermon. All right, freaks. Today is Wednesday, and that means are we going to use that noise that I put in there? I put an audio clip in on the Brownell's bullet points.
Sure, let's go ahead and
let's do it. All right, that's good enough.
That was good enough.
That's good enough. According to soundbites.com, or whatever, wherever I stole that from, that is an AK firing in semi-automatic.
It was from YouTube?
Mm-hmm. And it was from something, whatever.
Audio Productions.
There you go. Congratulations. The reason I dropped that in there is, A, it's Brownell's Bullet Points Day, and B, I want to talk to you guys about the Century Arms Micro Dot AK mount. That's something new, relatively new from Century. If you guys have been paying attention, you know that Century Arms is the makers of the 100% made in the USA AK. Top to bottom, front to back, every piece, part, screw, barrel, everything that goes onto that gun was made in America. Congratulations. So, the C-39 is a machined receiver. And then you have the RAS, which is a roll stamp receiver. It's a stamped receiver. There's a lot of benefits to a machine receiver because they bevel the magazine well, and it just gobbles up mags. If you've never used an AK, especially if you're like an old AK guy, like you got them back in the 90s or 2000s when they were bringing in the Romanian ones, and the mag wells really were kind of not as good as they could have been. You use a machined receiver with a beveled magazine well, and you're like, man, I can't. Jared, you remember that? When you were shooting the C-39s, and then you went back to shooting your gun, and you're like, hey, the mag won't go in easy. Why is it so difficult to get the mag in? This is crap. Well, Century just started. They developed their own in-house micro red dot mount, and it works with their receivers and their receivers only. You're like, if I buy one, can I put it on my 2004 Wasser? No, sorry. You have to use their guns. Now, the reason I wanted to bring up the mount is because a lot of folks assume erroneously that it's a Picatinny rail mount. It's not. The mount is designed, it's called the micro dot because who makes a micro? This little company called Aimpoint. They make a micro T1 and a micro H1. And the mount is designed so that a T1 or an H1, without any kind of a weaver rail, pick rail, whatever, just the actual optic will fit the 4 screw holes, line up perfectly. Now you say, hey, I don't have an Aimpoint T1 or an H1. Am I just out of luck? No. There are companies that make mini red dots that have the identical screw hole base configuration as the T1 or the H1. Your responsibility is to find out which one it is. So, if you're going to use the mount, and the cool thing about the mount, did you know that, Jared, that I'm going to tell you, with the mount installed, you can still remove the dust cover and take out the recoil spring and take out the bolt carrier group and put it all back together without disassembling, taking the mount off?
Really?
Yes.
All of those things?
I did it. I mounted it. I Loctited it.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I wonder. And I was like, nope, take dust cover off. Oh, recoil spring out. Bolt carrier group out. I can lube it, put it all back together, put it assemble. So, so far, I'm pretty impressed. We went out. I zeroed the red dot at 30 yards. I BZO'd it at 30 yards. If you guys don't know what a BZO is, listen to a previous episode. I BZO'd it at 30 yards. Started working with it, ran a few magazines, probably 3, 4, 5 magazines through it. Then I went over to the rifle range, and they had a head-size plate hanging at 100. I was able to ding the head-size plate at 100. They had the human silhouette steel silhouette hanging at 200. So I used my elbows as a rest, and I bing, shot the silhouette at 200 with the red dot, no sweat. Because people all the time are like, AKs are not accurate enough. And I was like, okay, whatever. So, and then at the very, very end of the range session, I wanted to make sure that we were still tight. So I went back to 30 yards, sat down, and I fired a group on paper. And the zero was identical, and it was the group at the beginning or at the end was just as tight as a group at the beginning. So we're only a few hundred rounds into that one, but so far I'm pretty impressed. If you go to brownells.com, you can shop around for mini red dots of all types and shapes and varieties. And the Century Arms Micro Dot AK mount, you can get it from them at Century Arms, or you can get it from any number of online retailers. All right, kids, I hope you enjoyed today. If you didn't, well, write to P.O. Box 40. Write to refunds at P.O. Box 405, Boulder, Colorado, for a complete refund of today's purchase price. And Jared, you go ahead and cue the outro music, and I'm going to tell them what they are and what they should be. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, you're a beginner once, but you should indeed be a student for life.